This is how the Iraqi government, and probably the Americans and British too, would like to imagine the new security plan for Baghdad. Smiling soldiers bravely rooting out terrorists and disarming illegal militias. Grateful citizens chuckling as they're searched at checkpoints. Reality on the desperate streets of Baghdad is rather different after a year of sectarian civil war between Sunni and Shia Muslims. Your enemies' militiamen might be murderers and torturers. Your own are protectors and providers. For these women in Sadr city, the Shia slum on the east side of Baghdad, the Mahdi army is not an illegal militia which must be destroyed for the sake of Iraq. It's a saviour, defending them against the Sunni gunmen who drove them out of their homes in the countryside north of Baghdad.
They came and killed people. They left threatening letters in the street. They burnt our cars and lorries full of harvests. They called us allies of the Americans. They killed 3 of our neighbours. So we left. Thanks to the men from the office, they gave us this place. The government never asked about us. The office of Sadr bring us fuel. They come and check on us.
These Shia have no trust in the government. It's not been able to protect them, house them or feed them. The Mahdi army has done all 3.
They are slaughtering us. They're slaughtering us. As God is my witness, they're slaughtering us. Go bring the photos. He was born in 1990, a hairdresser. His picture is still up. They murdered him in Abu Ghraib. Who? The Sunnis. Who else do you think? The Sunnis killed him. This little one. He's only 14. They murdered him and threw him in the garbage. Can anyone live in a place like this? Can anyone live in a place like this? The government has given us nothing. No flour, no sugar, nothing. Look at this flour. Only the Mahdi army gave us anything. They help us. They pay us salaries. They give us everything. Even if Maliki, the Prime Minister, came personally and asked me to go back home, I wouldn't go.
This is the face of the Mahdi army which the Shia see. Abdul Karim al-Asadi, working for what everyone calls the office. He's a local person. The Mahdi army are not outsiders imposed on the community. They are the community, organising and arming themselves to fill the vacuum left by the collapse of the government. The Mahdi army is the office's militia, but it does much more.
The office of the martyr Sadr is divided into committees: media committees, social committees, services committees. Each works in its own area. The media committees help reporters and satellite channels to show the work of the Sadr office and life in Sadr city. The social committees work directly with displaced people, providing services.
5 miles away, we're in the same city, but a different world. This is the besieged Sunni Muslim suburb of Adhamiyah. People here see the Sadr organisation and the Mehdi army utterly differently, as aggressive sectarian killers. The Sunnis view the Iraqi police and National Guard, the new army, as simply Shia militiamen in different uniforms. This bridge used to be one of the busiest in Baghdad, connecting Sunni Adhamiyah to the Shia area of Kazimiyah. In 2005, nearly 1,000 Shia pilgrims died here when rumours of suicide bombers caused a stampede. Now the bridge is a front line in the civil war. Sunnis who step outside this enclave risk being seized by Shia militiamen or death squads, then tortured, shot and thrown on garbage dumps. So many have been killed, they've dug up a park to make this cemetery. The gravedigger says that even on a quiet day, he's burying 5 or 6 bodies.
These are gangs on a killing rampage, dressed in Iraqi army uniforms. Yes, they are in what is called the Iraqi army. The Iraqi army is supposed to be honourable, defending land and dignity. They are killing children, young men. Enough. Enough blood.
The gravedigger shows our crew the grave of an elderly man who was killed when he went to work across the bridge in the Shia area.
Why? It was just because he was Sunni. Why else? And all this because one day before the regime fell, Saddam Hussein came and visited Adamiyah. They think Saddam Hussein represented all the Sunnis. This is the opinion of the Mahdi army and the Badr brigade. That is, the Iranians, who take all their orders from Iran, who can't take a single step without Iran's approval. I'll show you two over there. They captured them, hung them, then burned them. Why? Because they are Sunni, defending their area, defending their religion, defending their country.
Faced with daily killings and a breakdown of government services, the Sunnis of Adamiyah have organised and armed themselves just like the Shia of Sadr city. This is one of their leaders. He asked us to disguise his identity. Abu Layth used to be an officer in the Iraqi army, but the Americans dissolved the army, so now he helps to defend and govern Adamiyah.
We set up committees in each area or neighbourhood in charge of security of their streets to protect residents from militias. If they come across Americans or National Guard, they will leave them alone. But if they find militias, they will stop them.
Much like the Mahdi army, the armed men who guard Adamiyah also try to provide public services.
The infrastructure and services are in bad shape, but we cooperate and help each other out. We created committees. A group is responsible for electricity, another for providing gas and petrol. Each neighbourhood works together to sort itself out, even with things like medication and hospitals.
The Shia of Sadr city and the Sunnis of Adamiyah have one thing in common. Neither of them have any trust in the government which is now trying with American help to regain control of Baghdad. These people have turned to militias for the most basic functions of a government, security and public services. So the Americans might think their surge is clearing out terrorists, but for Baghdad's people, it's targeting the only armed men they trust.